Apart from the private sector investment, some state governments have gotten involved in dealing with waste of crops, which has been named as another reason for fluctuation in prices.
As a government, we are also taking the bull by the horn. But already in Erikorodo, we have a poultry processing center there as a government. We also have this coconut processing, mini coconut processing center in Mowo, Badagry. The government is willing to give tax holiday for starters. Is willing to give tax holiday for starters. And the issue of Omonile, is being addressed through our anti-land grabbing task force. There is a law in place. So the era of an investor coming on board, buying land and Omonile disturbing is gone and gone forever. So we're addressing that. So any investor coming on board is assured of peace of mind. It's assured of seamless way of doing business. You get your papers, everything that you want, you get it addressed without any problem.
I think the youths don't have to be excluded from that area. It's not every youth that can go to, or not every young person that can go to the farms or monitor his farm. You can have a processing plant, you can have a storage plant, but knowing the business behind that is different from the business of agriculture. So yes, but that's also an area that I think a lot of youths would soon wake up to. And I think that would go beyond the local governments. Those are areas I think both the state and federal governments can come in. The state more than the federal government. I believe agriculture should be something that the states should be more involved in. And if it comes to storage and preservation, I think, and processing, I think having state plants, I think I would not want to quote wrongly, but I think there is a state that has offered to buy up crops from farmers. I won't want to say the wrong state, but yes. So some states are already taking that initiative, but it's for more states to do that so that we can at least avoid food scarcity.
To increase food supply, the youth should be encouraged and the terms of involvement should be flexible. The African Development Bank has already started this by providing $280 million to support youths who are interested in agriculture in Nigeria, and their target is empowering over 200 youth who are active in agribusiness value chains.
What we have observed in the field is there are quite a lot of young farmers currently developing in different states. So whilst a lot of them have their day jobs, they also have their farms, which they're building. And these farms tend to be situated in different local governments in different states. So it's more, and if you take into consideration the bureaucracy in state governments, I think we would achieve a lot more faster if local governments were also actively involved in promoting agricultural practices in their areas. What I would say is, one is access to land. What I know with the Land Use Act, it's pretty much land in urban areas that are under the governor, whilst the ones in non-urban areas also have, the local government's chairman have control over those. So access to those kind of lands for agricultural purposes would go a long way. You would also have issues of access to finance. So the local governments tend to know the people in their locality more than or better than the state governments. So being able to identify credit-worthy people that they can support in their cultural initiatives would go a very long way. And finally, I would say the communities, right? Because what you find out with a lot of young farmers is they tend not to be around. So it's important to have a communal belonging. So if everybody in the community believes in that project, that farm project, because it employs other youths in that area, I think the farms would go a longer way and maybe last better.
While there are suggestions on storage, preservation, and processing of food crops as a strategy for food security, there are some other factors which have mitigated the expansion of the agricultural sector and increase in food production. One of the factors is limited mechanized farming, which at this time is placed at just about 15%. Farmer and council member of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Wale Oyekan, speaks from a first-hand experience.
If you look around, how many tractors do you see really plowing a land? When you talk of mechanization, you're talking of the job that able-bodied men are supposed to do, the tractors are doing it. And what about the farming equipment that we are using? Are they modernized, or we are still using the subsistence farming ways of doing business? So these are the kind of things we are talking about mechanization. If you really want to know a nation that is very serious about mechanization, when you go down through the express road, when you go down through the bush, you will see miles upon miles of this plantation, but we are not having that in Nigeria. And that is why we keep on talking about all these Land Use Act, though the power is vested on every state governors to really monitor the land. But are they really using it to the farmers that really want to go into mechanization? Because when you're talking of mechanization, you are not talking about 5 acres or 10 acres or 15 acres. You're talking about thousands of hectares of land. That way, you'll be able to have a lot of machinery working there and a lot of people being employed in the place. And after that, when you started adding value to what you are doing, that's what they call mechanization, not just producing and exporting it out, just like what we do to our oil and gas. All this constituency project that the National Assembly are talking about, they're supposed to take farming in every local government, in all their constituency, take agricultural serious, get a land, get a tractor, get a very hybrid seed, so that people can go into farming, and by the time the farmer produce, more people from them, pay them off, they go back to the farm. That way they'll be encouraged.
One other area of discourse in the agricultural sector is the export of crops, the latest being yam. The first consignment of the fibrous tuber from the port in Nigeria's economic capital, Lagos, was flagged off in June 2017. According to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, Nigeria accounts for 61% of the world's total yam output. And the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Audu, says that not all of it is consumed, causing waste. However, some Nigerians are not comfortable with the idea and call for caution.
If you look at the powers of demand and supply, if the federal government goes down this route of exportation without ensuring that the local market or the local market is adequately catered for, then what you then find out is there will be food scarcities because everybody wants to export their produce. So I think it's recommendable that in exploring the exportation of food produce, particularly yam and major staple crops that we use in Nigeria in our daily meals, it's vital that all parties involved or interested in the production process and marketing and sale of the food produce are carried along.
Okay. So many perspectives to the path of progress for Nigeria. One good thing is that the GDP of agriculture for the second quarter has increased, and some experts have said that it will increase further by the next quarter, and this will boost the economy of the country in many ways. So how else can not just agriculture but Nigeria's economy be boosted? Share with us on Big Story. And that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ini John Mekwa.